Hi everyone, and welcome to Watercolors with Jaylene. Thank you for joining me today. And for today's project, we're going to be painting a jellyfish. And this is going to be part 2 of my Coastal Treasures series that I'm putting together. And before we get started, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. If you enjoy this video, go ahead and hit the like button down below and share it with your friends. All the support I truly appreciate. So to get started today, I'll go over the supplies real quick with you. And I do have a piece of watercolor paper. And then for the paints for today, I kind of mixed up some of my own. Some of the blues, the turquoisey aqua colors, it's a mixture of turquoise and emerald green. And then I am using just some turquoise. And then the reddish colors, those are a mixture of the alizarin crimson and violet. I do have a little bit of orange in here as well. And then just some regular violet. So you can really mix up any colors that you really like. There's no set, set color scheme that you have to use. These are just what I came up with. And then for the brushes I'm going to be using today, I do have a number 8 round, and then I have my long brush also. And I have a pencil and an eraser. So just because we're going to draw the top of this, I like to draw it out just to kind of get my placement situated before I get started. And then of course all of the tentacles that hang down, those I don't draw those in. So I'll set that aside and we'll get out a piece of paper, and I have my pencil. So to draw this, it's really just kind of a mushroom, and I do like to draw it at an angle. As you know, as the jellyfish float in the water or swim in the water, they're typically not straight up and down. So to draw this, we're just going to kind of do it like as a mushroom. Okay. And just kind of bring the bottom edges back around. And they're slightly scalloped. I'm going to put 3 scallops there. And then just very lightly, I'm adding the seams, I guess you could call them, going up to the top. And there again, it's very, very light. I don't even know if you can see it in the video, but they're there just for a little bit of guidance, and I won't be erasing the lines afterwards because they really won't be visible. So to get started, what I want to do is take my number 8 round brush, and of course I do have my clean water and a blotting towel as well. So I'm going to just put a little bit of water into the top part of the jellyfish. And the reason that I do this is because when I put the paint on, I want it to blend a little bit as I'm putting it on. Okay, so for the top portion of this, or this is where I'll start, is at the top. And I am putting some paint on my brush, and it's a mixture of the red and the purple. And I want to start up here and just kind of go down and around, and you can see how that's kind of blending out already. So I'm going to turn this just a little bit and then go down the other side. Okay, and it's pretty much the same thing there. And then along the edges. And then I'm going to grab a little bit more. And then on my seams coming down, I want them to be somewhat pronounced. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to clean my brush off a little bit. And then with just some water, and not a lot of water, but just with a little bit of water on my brush, I kind of want to blend this out just a little bit. I don't want any solid lines. And so we're going to just kind of let this set for a minute. And while that is setting, we can start on the fun part, which are the tentacles that hang down. And what I'm going to do is, before this is dry, I do want to go back and add a little bit more color, but I want to dry just a little bit. So with the same brush, and I'll be using the same brush through most of it. So I'm going to grab some of the turquoise blue and the emerald green that I mixed up. Now I have a lot of water on my brush and very little paint, because these aren't going to be real dark. They're going to be rather light, and you can see that there is a lot of paint on my brush. And so we just want to kind of, you know, trail down and swirl, and, you know, think of the tentacles and how they float in the water. They kind of float with the tide, and, you know, how the water is flowing. So that's how we want them to dance on our paper also. Okay, so I have a few of those. I think I'll put one more in. And this one, you can see there's a little bit more green on the brush. All right, and this is a lot of fun to put these in. And so now I'm going to switch my colors up a little bit, and I'm going to put some primarily purple or violet on my brush. And there again, it's going to be very light. Not a lot of paint. And we'll be filling this up. This is just a lot of fun to do. Okay, so at this point, I think probably the top part, the body of the jellyfish, is going to be just about ready for a little bit more color to move forward. So I'm going to put some turquoise blue on my brush, and I just want to add in some dots. And these, I'm not sure what you would actually call them on the jellyfish itself. They're textural bumps, so to speak. Okay, and then put a few of those on, and now I want to go back and grab some of the red and the violet that I have mixed up, and it's just kind of loosely mixed up on my palette here. And so down around the bottom, we want this to be a little darker, and I don't really want to paint it on, so I'm kind of just dabbing it because I want it to look very textured. There's a lot of texture on these, on the bodies of these jellyfish, or there can be. And then up around the top, we want to add in just a little bit darker. So I'm using that same color basically. And you can see it's pretty dry, so it's not blending like it was, which that's good, because I do want it to be a little more defined. Okay, so we'll just kind of come down these. Now I'm going to, with a clean brush, just a little bit of water on here. I do want to kind of dab these spots just to soften them up a little bit, to add some texture. Okay, we're kind of blending that in a little bit. And you can do as much or as little. These can be as light as you want, or if you want them to be a little darker. You know, there's no right or wrong to these. You just kind of have fun with it. This is just giving you a basic start and how to. Okay, so let's kind of work on that a little bit. All right, so now that we have that pretty much where I want it, I think that's looking pretty good right now. I'm going to go back to the tentacles below. And so with these, I'm going to make sure that there's a lot of water on my brush again. And these, we want them just to be real light. Now with this, I have pretty much that same color as up above, the mixture of the two. And now my brush is somewhat dry. So, and you can see I'm holding it sideways. And what I'm painting in is very light, and it does look very like a dry brush stroke. And I'm just kind of filling in here and there. And basically that's what we want to do. Whoops, yep. Oh, this is good. Okay, a little bit darker. All right. Oh, I love the way this is turning out, actually. This is great. So as I'm painting along, a couple little fun facts about jellyfish is that they are 95 to 98% water. You know, their bodies are mostly water. And they're really not fish at all. So the jellyfish, they don't have scales, fins, or gills, obviously. And so as they swim in the water, what propels them forward is the opening and closing of their bell, and it projects them forward. So just kind of a couple interesting little facts there for you. Okay, now I'm going to grab some of this blue. I want to get some darker blue going on up through here. I think we'll do this a little bit as a dry one also. And they can start out rather thick up here, and then as they come down their tentacles, they can be much thinner. And let me grab just another blue one here. See, how cool is this, right? Okay, so now that I have that pretty much filled in the way I want it, what I want to do now is take my liner brush and I'm going to put some orange on here. So we really don't have any orange in the painting at all. And so with this, I just want to do a few really fine lines. And these I want to come out. And these are the keeping these just very, very thin. And I think I want that one to be just a little bit darker. You can see how those really stand out, right? So now that we have those on there, I'm going to go back with my larger brush, and I want to put just a couple nodules or knobs down some of these tentacles that are hanging down, just to give them a little bit of texture as well. And I'm not going to do it on all of them, of course. We'll take it right up to the top there, and we'll grab one of these over here and kind of do the same thing. Kind of lose track of where it even goes, but that's okay. We just want to add a little bit of texture to it. That's really all we're doing at this point. Just adding some texture to the tentacles that are hanging down. And then over here, we can grab a little bit of the violet and do it on this one. Let's put some over here also. So you can see the little dots or the nodules I'm putting on the tentacles. As it goes down, there's less and less. So now that we have this pretty much done, there is one last little area that I want to go in and kind of just blur it a little bit. And I'm going to grab some of the color that I've used up above, and I want to turn this sideways and just kind of, I had a little too much water on my brush there. Okay, because we don't want stark white under here. It is a bowl, it's round, so underneath there it should be like shadowed. Okay, so I want to kind of soften the edges, and what I'll do for that is I'm putting just some water. Oops, let me move my paints a little bit here. So I'm just kind of putting some water around the edge, and then with very, very small amount of water paint on my brush. You can barely see it. And this is just to soften the background. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of the purple and come over here. And let me turn this upside down. So now I'm going to take just basically water on my brush and work into it. And by doing that, it makes it a very soft flow into the color. There won't be any sharp edges, and that's what we want. We just want a little bit of color on the sides or top and sides to soften the design up a little bit. And then with just a hint of water on my brush, I'm doing the same thing throughout the side. And I mean, it's barely even noticeable. I think it just kind of makes it look a little nicer once it's all dry and complete, you know, to have that softer edge. And you can tell there's barely any color on my brush at all. And in going over some of the colors in the tentacles with the wet brush, it does soften the tentacles up as well. Okay, so that really completes the painting. Let me get just a little bit closer there. So you could see how fun and easy that is. And like I said, you could do these in any color that you want. You know, if you want to do them in more of the blues and aqua colors, or if you wanted to go with even some browns and rust color, you know, just have fun with it and make them in several different colors. So that is just how quick and easy this jellyfish is. And as I mentioned before, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, go ahead and do so. And like this video if you enjoyed watching it today. Hit the bell, and that way when I do post new videos, then you'll be notified and you won't miss any of them. So until next time, ciao for now.